Welcome back to another Dokkan video. So what I wanted to do today was talk about the upcoming global Dokkan banners. So hope you all enjoy this, and if you do, please consider subscribing. Let's hit a like goal of 750 likes on this video. Share the video out with your friends as well if you want them to know, or if they want to know, excuse me, what upcoming banners are coming to global Dokkan. And that being said, we are going to base it off of JP. Now that's actually a bit of a sticky situation because you can't 100% accurately predict what global is going to do anymore. Back in the day you used to be able to, but they decided somewhere along the road that they're just going to make it really difficult to do that. So we don't know exactly what's going to come out and when it is going to come out, but we're going to base it off of what has come to JP, and I'll give you guys my approximations as to what will come out. And then on top of that, if it's possible that they might change some units, because spoiler, it's possible that they decide to change 1 or 2 units on these banners. We've seen Global do it a lot recently anyway. So let's go ahead and talk about it. Anyways, this is Global's banner list up to where we currently are. This is where Global is. Not a lot is missing from here when it comes to JP at this exact same point. One thing that's notable that's missing is the LR Bojack featured banner. Now, LR Bojack he's actually already in the files for Global. So it looks like he's fully translated as well. Yeah, fully translated everything. So he's not, I don't think they have a date for him. We don't have a date for him because he's not already formally here, but the Reddit might have data mined that, but I didn't report a video on it, of course. So these other cards are coming, of course, but Bojack, his banner, not there yet, and this is what it looks like. So assuming things go according to plan, he will get a featured banner. Now, another thing Global skipped, which I don't really know if anybody really cares, is these type-specific Dokkan Festival banners. The Broly, the Vegito, the Omega, the Gotenks, the Buu. I don't really know if anybody cares because I skipped all of those, but they were a cool little concept, I guess, for people that were missing things. Anyways, so about up to this point, Bojack came out right around there. Global's also about to get the 1000-day Memorial Dokkan Festival, so that is coming out soon. So skipping over that, this is where we are. The Extreme Z Awaken for Goku banner, but moving up forward, SS3 Bardock is supposed to be the next Dokkan Festival. Now, the reason I say supposed, and they can change this literally up to the day that he's about to be released, but in Global's database, he is in here already, just not like translated aside from the links. So, of course, that means that they don't have plans on dropping a Dokkan Festival soon. They could drop him in the next few weeks, though. So keep that in mind. He's supposed to be the next Dokkan Festival. But one thing that this update did recently is it implemented a lot of new stuff, like LRSS3, the Toa, the SS3 Trunks, and Gohan are in here. That doesn't mean that they're going to come, but I hope that they do. The Tapion cards are in here as well. So it just remains to be seen what they decide to do with this stuff, because some of this stuff was celebratory stuff, such as like Tapion, I believe, coming out about Christmas or so. And he's going to be like right around here somewhere. Yeah, 26, stuff like that. So it just depends. But either way, a banner to keep your eye out for would be the Bardock banner. And I'm going to skip over the Revived Warrior category banner right here and the SS3, Dragon Ball Heroes banner, because I don't know if that's going to come. And of course, the Revived Warriors category is kind of like, okay, So anyways, SS3 Bardock's banner featured these units. Now, what I can see possibly changing, if they decide to change anything, is Frieza. That's the only unit I would see probably not making it onto this banner. But this is what made the Frieza banner 100% expendable if you were somebody that looked at the Bardock banner and said, well, there's not really much point, because Bardock's banner features literally the exact same units. And for me personally, I didn't actually get Frieza until that banner. It's not 100% the same units, but the main units, the main 2 anyway, are the same units. I skipped this Frieza banner entirely because I was just, low on funds at the time. And then I didn't get Frieza until this banner, right? So that's kind of how things shook out for me personally. And I believe this banner was running at the same time as this banner at some point. And you were able to get the Frieza for the Extreme Z Awaken, or right after, or something like that for Goku. So, when you look at this banner and its featured list, I only think, like I said, that Frieza might be the one that gets held off if they decide to do that, but who knows really, because Frieza does come back, I believe, again right now on the banner that's currently live, so he'll be back in a few months anyway. Another possible replacement could be Goku, which I don't think it'll be Goku, because I think Goku they already held off of a banner at one point. And we're already on global out of the 120 meta at this point. They're dropping categories. They've been doing it for a while. No real reason to hold Goku back anymore. But that is a good banner to hold on to if you guys are interested in it, because one more time before we proceed, Bardock is the Super Saiyan 3 category leader. Also an incredible unit in and of himself. He is able to output good damage, tank pretty well, and be one of the best possible support units in the game. At offering a 40% support clip. So when you drop below 70% HP, he gives all super type allies 40%, which means that he could be on like a hero team and he could be a really, really, really good rainbow support unit. But the only issue is that you do have to drop below 70%, which means if your team is too good, it's going to be kind of hard to do that. But still, nonetheless, again, an incredible unit who also seals. Unfortunately, he has a chance to seal. But I guess they didn't want him to be too busted, but still, he can seal. Although they're taking that mechanic away, it's still a very, very good mechanic in the game. They've taken it away from a lot of Dokkan events, though, as of late. So aside from that, you see there's a lull here. The next banner to even consider pulling on for the most part, unless you need to pull on the SS3 category banner, which keep in mind for these category gachas, they do have the LR cards in there. So, like, for example, when this drops, it should have all of the LRs to date, like Bardock, and not Bardock, excuse me, Bojack, and things of that nature. And then there's also the Hybrid Saiyans one right here, which I guess if you need to pull on that. But here we have Tapion stuff, right? Tapion, Hirudegarn, Hoi, and Minosha. So these are the units that are featured on this banner. This was a 20% rate banner. This is a double rate banner. So it was a Christmas celebratory banner. They also offered the Master Roshis, the Christmas Roshis for multi-summons. I don't know if they'll do that, but still, Tapion is a cool unit. But keep in mind that these units, all of them, even though Hoi, you know, and Minosha are SRs, Hoi is actually a really good support unit, to be honest. I'm going to talk about him really quickly. Energy of all allies of the Electrode system, Pokemon. Basically, extreme type allies get 2 key and 20% attack and defense. That's freaking awesome. And Minosha's a good tank. That's about it, you know, reduces the further damage when the guard is determined. So when he's able to go up against a tech type enemy, he blocks for more damage. I actually have shown off those units in videos, actually. It's funny enough. And nonetheless, though, those units and the Tapion units, both of them are really good, both the Tapions. This one is a very good ally for the SS3 Angel Goku, and the other one is actually the Transform category leader. So units that can transform, like Bergamo, like Grade Ape units, he offers them 3 key and 150. To my point, though, they get added to the regular summon pool. They're not Dokkan Festival exclusives. This is not a Dokkan Festival, even though these units come alongside a Dokkan event. So I would say that's a skippable banner, but it depends, honestly. If you really like Tapion and you want to run that category, then pull on this, because this will be your best chance at getting him. I didn't wind up getting him until I wailed really hard on the featured LR banners that recently came to JP like a month ago. So this is your best chance to get him, right? I didn't bother pulling on this banner. It's another banner I didn't have the funds for at the time. So a good banner to pull on if you want to get him. And also, it's a 20% banner rate. Also, last little bit before I proceed is that the LRs are on this banner. We see Bojack, Majin Vegeta, Broly, Kefla, Mighty Mask, Trunks, Goku Black. Bro, they're all in there. All of them are in there. I didn't see Gohan. There he is. They're all in there, guys. So, again, another chance at getting those LRs if you want to go ahead and pull on there. And here's where the big kahunas are, right? We have the hero and villain banners. So these are normal Dokkan Festival exclusives. I don't know if they will do the same little gimmicks where it's like, you know, multi-summon and then you get one free or whatever. Free once, catching 3 times, Dokkan Festival held. I can't really talk about the discounts because I misremember some of that and I really don't want to misinform you. So just keep in the back of your mind that some of these banners, like these specialty banners, like these dual Dokkan festivals, will come with some sort of, you know, not sale, because there's always going to be a sale, but some sort of gimmick where it's like you do 2 summons, you get 1 free, 3 summons and 1 free, excuse me, things of that nature. So just talking about specifically the cards that are featured on this banner, this hero banner introduces Vegito Blue alongside the Trunks. Now, Trunks is a really good tank. That's about it. He's okay offensively, but mainly has a defensive unit, a defensive viability, excuse me. If we bounce over to Vegito Blue, this guy is like literally an LR. He is on par with LRs in damage output. He is insanely good, especially if you get any sort of dupes invested into him. He's my favorite contradictory unit because he wants to get his attack and defense stat going, because a lot of people seem to forget or not know that he also has this built into his super attack, and there's no limit to it, right? He has people, whenever they talk about him versus Vegito Blue, it's undeniable this one is the best one, but a lot of people overlook or simply don't know that this guy gets this mechanic too. They say, well, Vegito Blue LR gets this built into his super attack, 12 key super, where he gets, you know, an indefinite boost, but this guy only has 150. No, this guy gets 15% more attack each time he attacks. He can attack multiple times per turn, up to a cap of 150. Alongside this, continually going up. His attack and defense continually go up if he launches more additional attacks that are super attacks per turn. So he is an insane output unit, and I said he's my favorite contradictory unit because the better he is in the potential system, the harder he hits. The harder he hits, the faster he clears events. So the faster he clears events, the less time he has to get his stacks going. So he's fun. Just an awesome unit. Again, on par with the LRs and damage output. Now, another thing that makes this banner really good is you have the return of a unit like Gotenks. Gotenks is an incredible unit, one of the hardest hitting SS3 units in the game overall, and just fits onto any team build that you want to run, physical, hero, what have you. He fits there, Hybrid Saiyans, and there's no questions asked. Gohan, speaking of Hybrid Saiyans, is the Hybrid Saiyan leader. He's okay. I don't think Gohan's great, but he's okay. And then we have the return of SS4 Goku. I don't believe that SS4 Goku actually returns for quite a while prior to that, to be honest. And you know how good SS4 Goku is. He doesn't need me to, you know, talk about how good he is. I'm not going to go into each of these banners, but I feel like it had been a while by the time that he returned since we had seen him last. So again, SS4 Goku, we have Vegito, excuse me, alongside with Gohan and the new Trunks. If I think anybody would be replaced in this banner, it would probably wind up being Gohan. I think Gohan would be a candidate to be replaced, or Gotenks, but I don't think they're going to change this banner at all, to be honest. But who knows when it comes to global. And here's the villain variation. We have the new STR Rose, not as damaging as the Vegito Blue counterpart, but still probably the most perfect unit in the game when it comes to just being able to do everything. This unit has so much packed into it. So it is able to support allies by 30% attack when you launch his super attacks. That's the Vegito mechanic. Tech Vegito has that on super attacks, AGL Vegito, so on and so forth. On top of that, this guy gets his own attack up by 120%, and he offers extreme type allies 3 key and 50% more defense. You know, and he also debuffs super type enemies by 20% attack and defense. So not only does he boost his allies by 30% attack when he launches supers, he also gives them 3 key and 50% defense. He also gets 120%, which is just enough for him to be one of the harder hitting units in the game. And he also debuffs the enemies, so you take less damage overall and do a bit more damage overall. So awesome unit, like I said, definitely worth going for. I kind of regret not pulling for more dupes of both of these guys, him and the Vegito Blue, on these banners, so don't make my same mistake. Omega Shenron returns. I believe this is the first time he has returned, maybe the second time on Global that he would have had returned. Either way, Omega Shenron is back, because I know that on Global versus JP, I feel like they brought Gogeta and Omega one more time or something like that. One of the two, one additional time that hadn't come to JP. So feel free to correct me in the comments, but again, I'm not trying to misinform anybody. He's a Shadow Dragon category leader, an awesome villain unit for the villain team, but not a lot of people run the Shadow category, so you're going to have a hard time finding that. Also, we have Broly. Very, very underestimated unit, but he fits very well on the SS3 category. One of the hardest hitting units on that team as well, baffly. So if you didn't have him already, again, you want to pull for him in Cooler and Super 17. Don't need any introduction. And then Zamasu, a healing tank unit. Very nice to have on that Extreme Int Super Battle Road run as well. So yeah, keep that in mind, guys. And here we have a ticket banner. This is a ticket banner. They gave out daily tickets. Nothing really to worry about with that one. And then, of course, we move into the 3-year celebration. Global won't see this for another few months, so really don't have to worry about this. Yes, these are the banners I would say to save for, simply because LR Gogeta and LR Vegito are that good upon transforming. But one thing that a lot of people don't really point out when we talk about these units, and while these are great banners, I mean, SS4 Gogeta's here and stuff like that, Janemba, freaking Gogeta, Int-type, this is a really good banner. But one thing that a lot of people don't talk about is these guys, they have a good rate for an LR pull. Like, they have a really good rate when it comes to other summonable LRs. So, you know, it's a lot easier to get these guys in comparison. Even other featured LRs, but they're not super incredibly good without transforming. And the transformation mechanic is heavily restricted. So again, if you're somebody that has a more higher end account, I'm not telling you to skip these, but just don't ever expect to transform. If you're somebody that doesn't have a, you know, a fully stacked team or 100% team or things like that, like, you know, a lot of us do, like in YouTube land, then you won't have that problem. But nonetheless, I'm not trying to diminish those units. They are like the best units in the game. upon transforming anyway. So that is something to point out as well. And then we get into the type-specific banners. Not anything really to worry about in terms of those banners. And then we get into the featured LRs. If you want to pull on these banners, assuming that they come to Global as well, they're going to be giving, they're going to be giving Global the first chance at a featured legendary banner for Gohan and Vegeta. So Global's already had the other three technically, but this is the first time we'll see those units. So if you want to pull for those, go for it. That's still your best chance at getting that specific LR. And the best thing about those banners is that they also feature all of the other LRs to date on those banners as well. And that's how I was able to fill out my Japanese account with getting every single LR in the game as of today, basically. And then finally, we're up to date with what JP currently has in the Jiren and UI Goku Festival. And these are the units that are featured, and Frieza is back, like I said earlier. Otherwise, this isn't honestly not that great of a banner. Like, this is a good banner, right? I love the chick. No, I don't want to say chick because that's derogatory, but the female, that's still kind of, you know my point. The Kale, Khalifa, and Kefla Awakenings, they're awesome. Android 18 is okay, I guess, in tandem with Android 17 tech type, but you know, Jiren is cool. UI Goku's Awakening is awesome. Frieza's really good as a category leader, but I'd say this banner is skippable, and I'd say this banner is skippable for the time that Jiren finally awakens, because he'll be back, and I assume UI Goku will be back as well. Maybe not, though, but still, I think it's skippable until then, to be honest. But one thing that this banner does allow you to do is it allows you to build basically the best possible Tournament of Power category team just by summoning on this banner, which is Jiren's category. So keep that in mind. He has a Tournament of Power category lead, and you know, Goku and Frieza and Kefla and Kale and Khalif, those are like the best units for this category, and they're all available here as featured units. So here we have the return of the Extreme AGL, or excuse me, the Extreme Dokkan Battle for AGL Goku, Extreme Z Awakening. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Banners that I would say to save for if I had to kind of put that out there, because it's going to be, you know, specific to everybody, because what it comes down to is if you need to pull on these AGL type, tech type, whatever banners, right? If you need to do something like that, they also offer a lot of orbs. These are really good banners, to be honest. It's a one-time thing. If you're looking for a unit like LR Vegito Blue, or just use me, Tech Vegito Blue, you have to pull here, because they purposely held him off of this banner because obvious reasons. So they didn't put him on here. They put Physical Vegito Blue, who's, you know, freaking awesome as well. But still, like, it just depends on what you would want to save for. In particular, though, if in the perfect world, I would say to save for these two banners, the hero villain banners, and then wait for these two banners. But the problem with that is they could come as soon as just a few weeks later. So if you're a free-to-play player in particular, unless there's a celebration, which there's, you know, there obviously is for the ticket banner and stuff, unless there's a big celebration that offers a lot of stones, then maybe you don't have a lot of chances on these banners. And I believe they're both specialty banners as well. So yeah. Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you all enjoyed this. Subscribe if you're new for more content. Have an awesome day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.